Today I have the 2021 Nissan Rogue, which is completely redesigned for this model year, and we even have the new high-end platinum trim. Today I'm going to give you a quick look of everything on the outside, some details on the inside, and go for a quick test drive. Let's get started. Now I am at a press event right now, so my time is limited, so it won't be quite as detailed as some of my videos, but once I can get one for a week, I'll get you a night video, maybe a 5 likes and dislikes, and a long detailed review. All right, so let's take a quick look at the exterior. Now this Rogue is still the signature Nissan look, but it has evolved, as you can see. Now I apologize, a lot of people have been driving this very quick in and out, so it's not completely clean, but we got this V-motion grille, a little bit evolved from last generation. Check out this blinker here, that looks pretty nice. I like the whole headlight design. You kind of have the split design. I'm not always a fan of the split design, but I think it looks unique and still good here. And you got LED fog lights down below, full LED headlights, including that blinker. And then check it out, you even have air curtains. So not something you always expect with a vehicle like this, but you have it. So those headlights are also supposed to be improved with their illumination, and we'll get a full review and check it out later on. Now style-wise, what do y'all think overall? The Rogue has a little bit more of a sporty look. It's shrunk a little bit in dimensions, down about 1.5 inches, so it's not quite as long. And overall, I like the dimensions and the greenhouse of this new Rogue. The Rogue wheels will vary a little bit depending on the trim, of course, but with our Platinum, we've got these 19-inch wheels with 235/55 series tires. They have a unique design to them. Let me know what you think. There's also a little chrome piece down below. Body color door handles. This paint color looks nice as well. Another thing with the Rogue is that it has 8.2 inches of ground clearance, which is respectable for this class if you ever wanted to take it off-road or at least get it a little bit dirty. You also have LED taillights. I'll get a night video of this as soon as I can get it. Platinum badge and the little chrome strip above that bumper. A lot of times with the redesign, you get some big improvements or big changes under the hood. That's not the case here. You still get some improvements, but Nissan still gives you the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, naturally aspirated, with 181 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. Those are improvements over the last generation, although they're mild improvements. It is still paired with the CVT transmission. We'll take it out on the road and see how that performs in just a bit. You can get it in front-wheel drive standard or all-wheel drive if you want. We have all-wheel drive in our Platinum model. And if you're looking for a faster, funner, turbocharged engine like that VC turbo that we saw in the Nissan Altima, you don't get any other options, at least as of right now. Nissan may add that in a little bit later, but nonetheless, this engine is efficient. The front-wheel drive base model can get up to 27 city and 35 highway, and the rest of them in all-wheel drive are going to get up to 32 highway. Now, new for 2021, Nissan does give you a motion-activated liftgate. That's a nice addition to this 2021 Rogue. And behind the second row, you get, with this divide and hide cargo system, up to 36.5 cubic feet of space, which is actually quite good. Nissan was definitely intentional with this cargo area. So they have these dedicated bins. Like they said, you could use that for a gallon of milk or to kind of store some groceries so they don't slide around as much. Another one over here with some tie downs. And then there's even a little 12-volt power outlet right there and a handle or lever to fold the seat on both sides. So that's good to see. You don't have to go to the second row to do that. And that actually folds pretty flat, which is nice to see. And when you have all of these seats down, you got 74.1 cubic feet. This is quite generous, especially for this class. Nissan also gives you the divide and hide cargo system, which is revised on the top two trims. So this one you can pull out, move it down, so you've got a little bit more space there. You can completely remove cargo areas and you can see that exposed area. So it's almost like a little hidden storage area if you decided to keep the mat there. And there's so much you can do with it. Check that out. I even lifted it up to where you can completely separate certain cargo area if you want. And then underneath it here, you do actually get a spare tire standard. So that's always good to see. Now a quick look at the front seats. These front seats are definitely really comfortable. Nissan is known for that. They are the zero gravity seats. NASA inspired seats, in fact. They're quilted, semi-aniline leather on this Platinum model. They're heated, they have memory settings, but to my surprise, even in this top-end Platinum, they don't have ventilated seats. That's probably something they'll add later on, and they don't want to step on the Nissan Murano's toes, so a little bit of a bummer. But overall, front seat, very nice place to be. You have two-way lumbar instead of four-way lumbar, so even though we're in the Platinum trim, it is very nice and premium, but I would expect four-way lumbar and ventilated seats. Surprisingly and disappointingly, somewhat, Nissan still gives you the exact same key fob. You've got remote start, push button start, and intelligent access to every door, including the lift gate. But it is nice and slim, but it is definitely getting old and feels pretty cheap. Now, as we hop inside, we can take a look at the interior. Nissan wanted this to be a true family hub, and this Platinum model is the most premium Rogue that there has ever been. So, starting out, let's take a look right at the steering wheel. We got this leather wrapped steering wheel that is also heated. Kind of have a flat bottom here as well. The buttons are different than they were on the other trim, and check this out. There's a 12-inch digital display right in front. It's actually 12.3 inches, and you can even change the way those gauges look on the outside. This is very high resolution as well. Using your steering wheel, you can scroll through all the typical settings that you're used to seeing on other Nissan vehicles, including trip computers, and all sorts of customizable stuff. For example, check this out. You can change the way that those gauges look. This is kind of interesting, gives you a different layout for your information. And then right up above, Nissan now gives you a head-up display. It's technically a 10.1-inch head-up display where you can vary different information on there. Give you a quick look on the interior. Check out that brown trim up above. This is a soft material. This entire portion is soft armrest, and then some nice trim in here. So Nissan didn't really skimp out with the materials on the door panel. Good sized bottle holder, and then your memory settings on the door, and a nice actual metal feeling handle. Nissan gives you a new design for its center display. Standard, you'll get an 8-inch screen, but we have the floating 9-inch screen, standard on our Platinum and optional on the SL. Nissan still gives you some physical controls like the volume knob, tuning knob over there, and then a couple controls down here for some quick shortcuts, which is always really nice to see. One feature that you have is the camera, which is their intelligent view monitor, to where you have a surround view camera on here, and it's actually pretty good resolution. Couple quick notes is that there's actually wireless Apple CarPlay on here. I don't believe Android Auto is wireless, but you can get wireless CarPlay on this Rogue. Just below that, we have dual zone climate up here, including tri-zone if you look in the back. So you and your passenger have controls, and then your back seat has their own controls. Heated seat buttons here. I wish that we had ventilated seats in here, but I guess that's just the way it is. And then we have a couple of charging ports, a Type-C, regular, and a 12-volt, and a wireless charging mat down below. So you can have your phone wireless charging and then do wireless CarPlay up there. So that's really nice. Nissan got a brand new shifter here. It's an electronic shifter, kind of like you see in some of the newest types of vehicles or luxury cars. Button over here, and then you can move to up and down for drive and reverse, or just hit that for park. And then you can even move it into the M, go down a couple times to manually shift, with paddle shifters on the steering wheel. I like that Nissan gave us a unique trim here with a little bit of texture instead of just like a shiny plasticky black. Drive mode controls right here, good size cup holders, everything is ergonomic and in a good spot. And Nissan really kind of made a big deal of these the center console here. So Mazda CX-9 has something similar, but Nissan wanted it to make it so that people in the back would be able to reach in here, and so that you don't really have to move your arm out of the way if you want to get into just one side of it. So it's kind of unique and it works well, and it's decently deep down there. But otherwise, it's a soft armrest, and you have this soft trim running across right there and on the passenger side. And then another cool feature is that they have a floating center console. So you have some storage down there, kind of like what you see in some other luxury vehicles. So it's a nice little knick-knack area, very practical. And then on the dash, you've got some stitching on there, and you've got some trim coming down. So Nissan did a nice job of incorporating some nice materials in here. Regular automatic dimming rearview mirror. Lights controls up there. Not sure if those are LED or not, but it does look pretty yellow. And then Nissan gives us a panoramic sunroof that goes quite a ways back over those second row passengers. Now, the back seat of the Rogue, there are some definite improvements back here. So first of all, most of you, if you're going to be using the back seat, it's going to be for child seats or putting stuff in and out. Look how wide that door opens up. It's almost a 90-degree opening, so extra easy to get big, bulky car seats or items back here. Another thing is, speaking of car seats, all 3 positions get child seat anchors, so that's always good to see, so you don't have to mess with the seat belt. These are also zero gravity seats, so they are still very nice, the same quilted material. They look nice, they feel nice, they're comfortable on my rear end. To top it off, you get AC vents back here, but you also get climate control back here. Not only do you get vents, you got your own temperature control settings down here, as well as a couple charging ports and heated seats. You're not gonna find climate control in this class in any other vehicle as far as I know. Don't forget your center folding armrest with cup holders, and then on the top couple trims, check it out. This is something you see in minivans or bigger SUVs, these sunshades. This is nice if you've got kids back here. All right, we are now just about to get the 2021 Rogue out on the road. So, I did drive a last generation Rogue. It has been a couple of years, but be sure to check that out. And I'm gonna kind of reference to that throughout this video. So hopefully we can get some good comparison talk about this and what kind of improvements they've made. Now, these are my very first impressions. I've been behind the wheel for probably about 1 minute so far. And I've noticed, I think right away, that it seems like a quieter vehicle. And just with partial throttle, it did have a little bit of a jerk with that CVT when it was kind of, doing the mimic gear shift. The CVT transmission is one of the biggest talking points when driving any of these Nissans, but for the majority of people, the CVT is going to be just fine. It's going to be efficient. You can get up to 35 miles per gallon with the base S. Now, we're just rolling at 52, and I do hear a little bit of wind noise. Not a lot, though. In fact, these windows over here are laminated. The side windows are laminated, so that's going to help suppress some wind noise. So far, tire noise is fairly well contained. A little bit over that, but I think that this Rogue just has a bit of a more substantial, solid feel to it compared to the last generation. Now let me go ahead and get pedal down. 45, pedal down. Now, I wish Nissan would have given people a little bit more power out of this engine, but I wouldn't be surprised if they've got something up their sleeve to offer later on. But for the majority of people, this engine is going to be enough. It does feel a little bit underpowered, especially compared to some of the more powerful offerings in the class and some of the turbocharged offerings in the class. So if power is a big deal to you, this might be disappointing. But one of the takeaways, one of the big things is Nissan has their advanced driver assist features, including a brand new navigation linked radar cruise control system. So I just set it, and it's got the lane keeping system. Look at this. This isn't what you're supposed to do, but look at that. It took that corner very well without me doing anything. The Pro Pilot. So that is one thing. Nissan is very advanced in that regard compared to some other brands. Now I'm going to let go again. Look at that. So this is advanced compared to the older Rogue, and in my long review, I'll try to go through all of these assist features, but you can access that through the steering wheel, no problems. And it really does take the stress out of some driving if you have the radar cruise going and stop and go traffic. If you get tired, the vehicle is going to let you know. So it's kind of nice that they offer that, and you can turn all that stuff off if you want. But one of my other observations in here is the driving dynamics. Now, I won't say that the Rogue is fun, but I will say that the Rogue is improved over last generation in terms of how the body feels on the road. And what I mean by that is it just feels like it's a little bit more planted. It feels a little more stable to drive, more confidence inspiring to drive. And when you get behind the wheel, especially if you've driven the old generation, I think you'll know what I mean. I'm gonna get going from a stop here. Sorry, we hit a big pothole there, but now that took a little bit for us to get up to 65 right there. The CVT, for the most part, is going to be seamless, but when you get on it, you're going to get some mimicked shifts, and some of those are a little bit harder than you'd expect. It's supposed to be seamless, and for the most part it is, but when you put some stress on it, it responds not the best. So, small complaint in that regard. Otherwise, driving the Rogue is nice. I would definitely say it's quieter than the last generation. I'll have to take some decibel ratings to be sure. I like the ergonomics of where everything is. In the center console down below, the touchscreen is easy to see, easy to touch. Everything is laid out on the steering wheel well, and the gauge cluster in front of me is very clear. I mean, it's a bright day and there's sun coming in, in different angles, and I haven't had any glare or anything on there. That's very impressive. I don't know how Nissan did it, but it is crystal clear. Colors are perfect. So that makes it a little bit more enjoyable to drive as well. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this drive. Like I said, hopefully I can get one for a longer review, more detailed, and better observations on my home turf. But let's go ahead and wrap things up. So to wrap things up on this Platinum 2021 Nissan Rogue, I think Nissan did a lot of things really well. They addressed different things that some people may have complained about in the last generation. It's quieter, it's a little bit more family friendly, it's very comfortable and very practical in general. For those of you that are a little bit more enthusiasts or want a little bit more fun or excitement, you're not really going to get that with the Nissan. They still have a regular 2.5 liter engine, no turbocharged option, just a CVT transmission, but this is for families and it's going to work very well for those families. What do y'all think of the redesign and everything that is new with this 2021 Rogue? Like I said, I hope to get one for a longer term review later on. Be sure to stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.